Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. In our top story, correctional officers, while performing their duties, will at times have to use force against inmates. However, new methods were introduced during a training intensive which will enable all law enforcement to perform less lethal force depending on the circumstances to gain control of threatening situations and maintain safety and security. News 2's Stephanie Brown reports.
In a 3-day training intensive, the Bureau of Corrections is equipping correction and law enforcement officers with modern defense skills and techniques.
And what we wanted to do was to make sure that we train our officers so that they can use the least amount of force necessary to stop the resistance, to stop the threat. It's important that we do this so that, one, that the inmates aren't injured and that the officers aren't injured.
Director Mulgrave explained that on-the-job training for corrections officers were close to non-existent, but he was charged with implementing the use of non-lethal physical confrontation within the Bureau and other law enforcement departments.
During a lot of these emergencies or situations that we have, we invite or we ask for the assistance from the Marshal's Department, we ask for the assistance from the Police Department. Well, I thought it was essential that they're familiar with how we do business. And if their officers are trained along with some of our officers and they go through the same thing that we go through, they'll be familiar with it.
Captain Frank Woods of the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office in Georgia provided instruction to the attending law enforcers and explained his objectives.
A lot of what we do is understanding the mentally ill, understanding the different types of inmates that are in our facilities to do a better job to reduce liability and professionalize our career and keep our officers and our communities safe.
Recently, a recording of a mentally ill man being taken off a ferry by local law enforcement was posted on Facebook, and many residents commented about the harsh use of force used. Director Mulgrave remarked further.
Well, I'm not quite familiar with that incident, so I can't really speak on that incident, but I know that the training that we're doing here today is specified for that kind of thing. I don't think there's been a lot of emphasis on the training for mental health and how to deal with mental health or mentally ill individuals, and this is part of the training. This is the beginning. We're just at the beginning.
For News 2, I'm Stephanie Shalana Brown.
BOC Director Rick Mulgrave expressed that he was appreciative of the officers' willingness to participate and learn from the training. He added that the BOC is committed to training to spur a more efficient bureau. Turning to some crime reports, police are hoping you can help. They say on Tuesday, July 18th at approximately 7:42 p.m., citizens called 911 in reference to a female victim being struck by a vehicle on the Melvin Evans Highway. Upon officers' arrival, they discovered an unresponsive female victim lying on the roadway. This incident took place in the area of the westbound lane on the Melvin Evans Highway adjacent to the Harvey housing community. The female victim, 47 years old, Marie Luz Rivera, had succumbed to her injuries sustained by the impact of the vehicles. She was transported to the 1F Louise Hospital morgue. Police are asking auto mechanic or body shops or anyone who observed a black Toyota Corolla with exterior damages to call the Criminal Investigation Bureau at 340-778-2211 or 911. This case is an active ongoing investigation. Be sure to call police if you can assist. On Tuesday, July 18th, the 911 call center reported a gunshot victim who came into the 1F Louise Hospital at 5:15 p.m., dropped off by two black adult males in a private vehicle. The victim was treated for a gunshot wound to his right thigh. The victim stated he was shot in the vicinity of the Tamarind Tree in the vicinity of the Canagata ballpark in Christiansted. Criminal Investigation Bureau is investigating. Again, you can call the Criminal Investigation Bureau if you can assist, 778-2211. Well, here is an update. Police say an autopsy was performed on the deceased 47-year-old Nyla Peel, and it was revealed the cause of death was not a result of an assault. Here's more from VIPD. Glenn?
Well, thank you, Sandy. On Monday, July 10th, units from the Richard N. Colwood Command traveled to the Roy Lester Snyder Regional Medical Center relative to an assault victim. Upon arrival, units made contact with the physician on duty, who informed them that the victim appeared to have sustained trauma to her head and had a brain injury. Units were available to obtain any information from the victim at the time due to her injuries. On Tuesday, July 11, 2017, units from the Major Crime Unit received information that the victim succumbed to her injuries. Preliminary investigation revealed that a concerned citizen called 911 and reported an unconscious female in contact in the area of the former Mitchell Motel. The female, who was later identified as 47-year-old Nyla Peel, who was transported to the hospital via ambulance. This case is being investigated, or was being investigated, as a homicide. But on Thursday, July 13, 2017, an autopsy was performed, and the deceased by Dr. Francisco Landron, the medical examiner. Dr. Landron concluded that the deceased cause of death was a result of intracerebral hemorrhage due to hypertension. The deceased cause of death was not a result of an assault. Back to you, Sandy.
Thanks for that update, Glenn. Police say on Monday, July 16th, around 12:05 p.m., a man ran into the Jurgen Command Police Station with his girlfriend, 54-year-old Sally Ann Medina, chasing him wielding a knife. Now, police say both parties were yelling, and Miss Medina held the knife positioned above her head as if ready to stab the male individual. Miss Medina was subsequently placed under arrest for assault third, domestic violence, and transported to the BOC. While McCollum, a former staff member to the delegate to Congress Stacey Plaskett, was indicted on 2 counts of cyber stalking, McCollum is accused of leaking private nude video and photos of the delegate on Facebook in 2016. Information released by the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia's office, Plaskett provided McCollum with the password to her iPhone with the intent for the staffer to have the malfunction iPhone repaired. McCollum entered a plea and during his arraignment, and he was ordered not to access Facebook. McCollum was a former reality TV cast member of the I Love New York VH1 show, where he was engaged in several verbal and physical altercations. Fitch Ratings, Inc. is one out of the 3 credit statistical rating agencies recognized by U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, whose responsibilities include enforcing federal laws and regulating U.S. stock exchanges. Fitch gave the Virgin Islands a negative tax bond ratings recently, once more. In the analysis, the Fitch informed that they have increased concerns about the territory's liquidity following its difficulties in securing market access for planned working capital borrowing. In a credit opinion released by Fitch in January of 2016, the rating agency wrote that the downgrade ratings were triggered by the territory's persistent general fund deficits, high debt levels, and declining gross domestic product and population, as well as high unemployment. They further stated that the unfunded pension system was a liability and that the territory's retirement system was projected to become insolvent by fiscal year 2023. Marvin Pickering, who is the director of the Virgin Islands Bureau of Internal Revenue, informs all taxpayers that its website address will change as of July 24th, 2017. Effective Monday, July 24th at 12 a.m., taxpayers can access the Bureau of Tax information at http:/bir.vi.gov. Now, excise taxpayers who file their tax returns online should use the new excise website address. Taxpayers who use the Bureau's old address will be redirected to that new address right there. There should be no interruption in the services you receive at the website. Any questions should be directed to Jonathan Tucker, who is the Deputy Director of Technology and Processing at 715-1040, extension 2251. The Committee on Housing, Public Works, Waste Management and Planning, chaired by Senator Marvin Blyden, held a meeting on Wednesday at the Cleone Creek Legislative Conference Room on St. John to vote and approve several zoning permits. One of the permits that lawmakers considered and approved was David McDaniel and Cheryl McDaniel. This permit allows the use and occupancy of a rectangular-shaped floating dock with 153 feet of water area. That's CZJ 20-11. The floating dock is permitted to be in the water during the months of November through May. The structure is located seaward of parcel number 200-C-2A, Estate Fish Bay, St. John in Fish Bay. McDaniel stated that the dock is going to be used seasonally between the months of November through May, and it is solely for personal use. Now, the following was held in committee: Bill number 32-0008, which is an act amending Title 25, Virgin Islands Code, Chapter 16, relating to mooring and anchoring fees to provide for fee reductions for senior citizens and persons with a disability and veterans. All items approved will be forwarded to the Committee of the Whole for further consideration. Turning to some stateside news, Lovelock Medium Security Correctional Center, O.J. Simpson's home since late 2008 after his conviction for armed robbery and related charges in Las Vegas. From behind these walls, a picture is emerging from insiders of Simpson playing fantasy football, coaching softball, and staying out of trouble. The prison reports no incidents involving Simpson. Two former Lovelock guards say Simpson has not been affected by racist gang battles that can affect other Nevada prisons. Former Lovelock officer Jeffrey Felix wrote a short book about his relationship with Simpson called Guarding the Juice. O.J. Simpson will stand before the Nevada Parole Board Thursday and try to convince them to let him out of prison. Simpson was famously acquitted of the murders of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend Ron Goldman back in 1995. American consumers account for a majority of economic growth, but Commerce Department data released last Friday indicates that they are spending less. The data shows that June retail sales fell 0.2% compared to May, the third drop this year. Data from the University of Michigan and the National Federation of Independent Business shows that confidence in the economy is also falling. Many Americans hoped in January that President Trump would soon cut taxes, but repeated delays have caused those hopes to dim. This makes Trump's promise of 3% growth more challenging. On the upside, growth is still strong, unemployment is low, and wages are slowly growing. Taking a look at the numbers there, we can see the Dow up 66, the NASDAQ 40, and S&P up 13. Coming up on News 2, a worthy donation, much more straight ahead. They call it partying with a purpose. Details on a donation that was made to the Queen Louise home earlier today. That's coming up. Welcome back. Time for some news around the Caribbean. Here's our Caribbean News Report.
Prime Minister the Honorable Gaston Brown is hopeful this evening that amicable discussions will be held with the principals of Sandals. The hotel chain has indicated it will be closing its resort here in Antigua for 5 months for essential repairs. However, the head of the government believes that Sandals' decision to close the property for 5 months is an act of hostility because it has not received new concessions. Prime Minister Brown is questioning why the resort needs to be closed for such a long period. Meanwhile, he is assuring the employees at the Sandals Grand Antigua Resort that they have nothing to worry about. The resort employs over 700 workers in a number of departments. Prime Minister Brown is calling on the nation to stand in solidarity with the employees and is chiding those who are seeking to politicize the situation.
Then what they should be doing is that they should be standing with the workers, that all Antiguans and Barbudans should be standing in solidarity, literally fighting this issue, because if it was what I think it is clearly an act of sabotage, and I'm saying that no investor should be able to treat our people in that way, and that we divide over it, and that we fight each other. Instead, we need to stand together and to fight this issue relentlessly in the interests of all Antiguans and Barbudans.
He has emphasized the importance of national unity in trying times.
checking out the summer camps, we stopped by Camp Wesleyan Summer Day Program, which is for school-aged children between the ages of 3 and 14. It's sponsored by the First Wesleyan Holiness Church. Camp Wesleyan is designed to model a typical school programmatic year with a solid emphasis, they say, on the instruction of Bible, reading, mathematics, as well as exploratory science. Now, today we found the students having some fun at the water park. Here's more on the program.
Camp Wesleyan has been in existence in 2005. Presently, it was under the direction of Mr. Jamin Liburd. We presently offer exercises to students in K3 through the 8th grade. We offer activities such as we do water parks weekly, field trips weekly. We also have cake decorating, steel pan, and also all kinds of fun things for the kids. I enjoy working with kids. This, as I said, I've been doing it for a while, and I just love working with the kids. We're having a wonderful time. I think the campers and the parents are pleased, and so we encourage you to join us here at Camp Wesleyan for 2018.
Good job, Camp Wesleyan. Well, the ports of the Virgin Islands Child Omali Task Force and the Florida Caribbean Cruise Association, they're inviting the VI community to attend a town hall from 4 to 6 p.m. on Thursday, July 20th in the Harbor Ballroom 2 at Marriott Frenchman's Reef Beach Resort. The Cruise Task Force comprises representatives from the private sector, including retail stores, ground transportation operators, spirits distributors, and restaurants. Reps from the VI Port Authority, the West Indian Company, the Department of Tourism, Department of Property and Procurement, the Department of Public Works, the Office of the Governor, and members of the VI legislature will also be represented. The town hall meetings brings together members of the task force and the FCCA, cruise line executives, and the VI community for an open discussion about the cruise industry and enhancing the visitor experience. Now, parking will be available at the West Indian Company dock at Havenside's main entrance gate. There will be some shuttle service beginning at 3:15 p.m. until 6 p.m. The Smith Bay community met to discuss the watershed program, and they say the ballpark will be the first phase of the planning. Now, Water Bay Non-Point Source Pollution Education Outreach Project that engages the Smith Bay community and other public and private stakeholders in the characterizing and the conditions and suggest some solutions to the stormwater and NPS pollution. The goals of this project are to inform the public on the causes of the stormwater and NPS pollution problems they are witnessing in their watershed and suggest priority projects that will mitigate those problems while positioning the community to seek funding through publication of a watershed management plan that satisfies U.S. EPA guidelines. The Virgin Islands Energy Office is presently holding some energy conservation operations and maintenance training for government and building industry professionals. The customized training is facilitated by South Face Energy Institute, and it addresses the best energy practices in public and private facilities. All topics are presented by a certified Interstate Renewable Energy Council master trainer and project manager. Now, in St. Thomas, the trainings were held from July 17th to 18th at UVI. St. Croix now is scheduled for July 20th to the 21st at the Department of Education Curriculum Center. The trainings include information on HVAC lighting efficiency standards, preliminary energy audits, consumption data monitoring, water heating efficiency, and other related topics. They call it partying with a purpose. And this morning, the ladies of 4 VI Girls Inc. and Carnival Kaleidoscope, they combined, and they say they continue their plan of Christmas giving. Now, they donated a custom convalescence chair to the Queen Louise Home for the Aged there in St. Thomas. They say it rolls, reclines, and is super soft. The staff was so appreciative for the much-needed piece of equipment. Here's more.
We just wanted to make this presentation to you and let them know that on behalf of 4 VI Girls, Christmas in Paradise, we just wanted to donate this chair, this needed chair, to the Queen Louise Home, and we look forward to donating many more things to the Queen Louise home.
And we're so grateful for any donation that we do get from the community, and we're very grateful to these ladies for considering us. They did the juve, the Christmas juve, and all proceeds were given back to the community, and we're one of the beneficiaries of those. That's the chair. It's one of the state-of-the-art Jerry chair. This is for somebody who is bedridden that we will want to bring out to general population. And this chair is so soft, it's wide, and it's comfortable. Thank you so much for your donation.
Job well done there. You guys are very inspirational. Thank you for that. Virgin Islands Veterans Records, they're being updated. The Virgin Islands Office of Veterans Affairs, they say they're in the process of updating contact information of all VI veterans registered in the VI Office of Veterans Affairs. They say during the months of July and August 2017, you may receive a phone call asking to verify information that they presently have on file. The only information they will be verifying is contact information. If for some reason you're asked to provide anything other than contact information, please report this, they say, to the proper law enforcement agency. The reason for the update of the veterans records is to ensure that they maximize whatever means of communications that they have with veterans. They say we do recognize that there are veterans of different eras during which different means of communicating may have been utilized. They say we are striving to make sure veterans have all information necessary about benefits, entitlements, and access to services. This will also assist with making sure that as many veterans as possible are notified of upcoming events such as town hall meetings. Well, what's happening with Dawn out there? We keep an eye on the weather. Your News2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.
Boy, are we going to have a gorgeous sunset tonight. We have some dust high up in the atmosphere. It's going to be glistening here with the sunset, so make sure you check that out. And when you wake up in the morning, you could even see a little bit of dust on your car because of these conditions. It's really high up in the atmosphere, though, so our ground levels are safe for us to be breathing. Taking a look right now, we don't really see much going on. It's pretty quiet here around the islands. Of course, we could see a trade wind shower or two. Very typical tonight into tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're actually going to see a bit of an uptick in showers as we do have just some moisture heading in our direction ahead of a tropical wave. So for tonight, 80 degrees and mainly clear skies. Tomorrow, 90 degrees, partly sunny, and we could see a brief shower or two. Same story for St. Thomas and also St. Croix here. Some sunshine, 90 degrees, and of course a bit of a shower should be expected. Now the small craft advisory expires tonight at 8 o'clock. Now this marine forecast is for tomorrow. Waves 4 to 6 feet, winds out of the east 10 to 15 knots, and we don't have an advisory expected for our tomorrow hours. Again, in the Caribbean, this small craft advisory expires tonight at 8 p.m. Keep that in mind. Tomorrow our conditions are improving. Waves 4 to 6 feet, winds out of the east from 10 to 15 knots. So still a bit choppy out there. Make sure you're being careful there tomorrow as well. Friday, it's going to be a drier day, more sunshine, 89 degrees. And then Saturday, we could see an uptick in showers, 1 or 2 moving across the islands. That's when we do have a tropical wave moving through the area. So it's going to be a bit cloudier as well. And that will continue into Sunday, drying out though later on in the afternoon. Temperatures in the upper 80s. And then on Monday, we could see a shower in spots. Certainly, we're still going to see beach weather here every single day, but we could see a couple downpours here, especially on our Saturday. Sandy, back to you.
Okay, so keep the umbrella handy. That's what Tavian Morton is showing us from Great Minds Summer Learning Academy, and showing some dark clouds there and raindrops. Tavian, thank you for your picture. Send us your News2 weather picture to the address on the screen via 4611 Tutu Park Suite 300, St. Thomas VI 00802, and then tune in to see it right here on News2. We're not done yet. News2 Sports. That comes your way next.
I'm Gary Anthony, and this is NEWS2 Sports. I'm here at Juanita Gardine Elementary School for Christmas in July. Yes, it's that time of year again. Rakeem Christmas Foundation, they're here all week with basketball camps and a whole bunch of other special events here in the VI. We were lucky enough to catch up with Rakeem today, and he told us what's been going on and what to expect.
Yesterday I was in St. Thomas at the camp out there. I was interacting with the kids, having fun with them, talking Q&A and stuff like that. And then today I'm here at Juanita with the kids at the camp, having fun with them, doing the same thing. So, I mean, it's all about getting back to the kids and the youth. And, I mean, the rest of the week, tomorrow we're going to have a VIP silent auction. I mean, there's going to be a lot of things that people can win, a lot of people to bid on. So, stuff from the NBA, a lot of NBA players signed some stuff for us. Friday, we're going to have a block party at Caravel Hotel out there. It's going to be fun. All my friends that I brought down here are going to be here. And Saturday, we're going to have our main events, the All-Star Game, St. Corby's and St. Thomas, St. John. We're going to have a dunk contest, a three-point contest, just like last year, a bunch of prizes that people can win.
Also on Saturday, you got the main event. We got the dedication of the court at the Boys and Girls Club in Frederickstead. How's that feel?
It feels good. I jumped right off my flight, went down west. The volunteers were down there working on the court still. And I mean, to be able to see something like that going down has been great. 2 years ago when I went down there to see the court, it had roots and stuff growing out of it, so it needed a lot of upkeep and a lot of help. So to be able to come down here and know that I contributed to something like that is a great feeling.
From the rim to the ring, St. Thomas heavyweight fighter Clayton Laurent held a press conference today to give boxing fans some exciting news.
All right, I just want to thank everybody, first of all, for coming out. Thank you for your continued support again. And just here to bring you some exciting news. You know, first we told you about me turning pro. Now it's about having the first fight. Everybody's been asking. Everybody wants to know when is the fight, where it's going to be, what's going to happen. So now you officially know it's going to be August 19th. All road leads to Antley School. I'm just excited to just display what I've been working. I've been working on this craft for 10 years. And I have been having the community support me for the last 10 years. And I'm just excited to show them what they've been supporting, what I've been doing, and just to inspire. You know, my goal is to inspire kids from across the Virgin Islands and across the world if I can make it, because it's not easy coming from a small place. You know, I'm the only heavyweight here in the Virgin Islands and the BVI. There are maybe 4 or 5 heavyweights in Puerto Rico. There's even less in the Caribbean, and I have beaten everyone in this part of the world. And most of them don't want to fight me or even spar with me. And it's been hard, it's been a gruesome road, but there's light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm just excited to show people that resiliency, hard work, dedication, it makes a difference.
That's it for sports. Sandy, back to you.
Gary, thanks for the exciting boxing update there. Be sure to keep us in tune there. That is all for this edition of NEWS2. We'd like to thank you for joining us for all the latest in news, weather, and sports. Big thanks to Camp Wesleyan. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great evening.